Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the World Away and we have now got pack 9 of Modelspace's Build Your Own Thunderbird 2. Okay, so in pack 9 we're going to be building the rest of pod 4. We're also going to be building the support vehicle Domo. If you want to do these yourself, then please remember, type in this web address down here. You've got a discount code there that will give you 5% off each pack. So if you like what you're seeing here, or you've seen all my other videos, there's 12 in a pack. You can choose to have this over 12 months or 24 months. And I said, if you type in that web address there, you can get some discount and get this for yourself. But pack 9, let's get cracking on it. Hopefully, it won't be as long as the other ones. But we've already done a pack build before with the pods, with pod 3, and we're just going to finish in pod 4 now. So, first thing we've got is this bit here. I've got this all ready to go. Just looks like this. It's just the other end of the hatch. So let's get this open and get this started. The tools you're going to need to do this, just so you know, is your trusty tweezers, all come out, make sure they're all out, trusty screwdriver, and of course your super glue. So loads of little bits there. I'm going to put them to one side because the first thing it wants us to do, this is stage 53, and this is part 1, or step 1. We're going to be gluing this frame here to here, and basically it's going to be going this way round, and you've got little points to put them on here. So what I'm going to do is just dab some glue just inside these little bits here. Hopefully my glue has got glue in it, just checking. That's a little bit blocked up there. Okay, there's quite a few points to put the glue in actually in this one, so there we go. And then we're going to be fitting this to this bit here. Just like that. Nice easy stage. That was step 2. Now step 3 wants us to remove the details from this spur here. So they're really tiny details, but what I'll do is I should be able to get these off without breaking the spur completely. There are some really tiny bits on this though. Let's get them out. As you can see, they're really tiny, but I just pick this up. You've got to watch out for burrs. So you've got a little burr on the end there. So let's get this one off. And to do that, I just use my trusty emery board, which I stole from the missus. She doesn't even know I've got this, I don't think. So, and this is great for just getting rid of the little tiny burr that's on the end there. That one's okay. Just checking this little one here. Yep, and that one, oh, it's got a little tiny one on. Perfect, that's all it is. That's all it takes. So we've got 2 little grey bits here. So that was step 3, just removing the details. Now, we're going to be putting these details on this section here. We've got this little tiny square at the top, and that's what's going to be going in with that little bit there. So what we'll do is we'll put some glue on this. Just like that. I'm going to pick this up with my tweezers. And as you can see, you've got a little dot on this side. If you follow the picture, the dot's going towards the left or the outer wall of the vehicle. So I'll put this in. But there you go, and that's that staging just like that. That was step 4. Now step 5, we're going to be putting this little blue piece in here. It is directional. They want it so that basically you've got there's little strips running down each side of this little blue square here, and you want to make sure that they're actually vertically going up, not sideways. So it's going to be going in that way, and this is going to be going in this point just here. This is steps 5 and 6. So we'll just put that in, dab of glue. Make sure it's in the right way. Push it down. And there we go. That's that bit in there. Just show you a bit closer so you can see I've got it in the right way there. Okay, step 7. We've got this bit which looks like a fly swat. This is going to be going upside down, following the actual course of this unit here. As you can see, it's exactly the same shape. So we'll get this bit in as well. Doesn't need a lot of glue, this one. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to glue the pins on this one. 1, 2. If I get the bottom in first, then the top will fit no problems at all afterwards. Just like that. A little bit of glue just to get off there. Excellent. And then that looks like that. Pretty easy, huh? Okay, and that's step 8 done. Right, step 9. We have now got another little greyish detail, which is just this little tiny thing here. This is pretty symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which way round we put this, but I'll just dab some glue again on the pins here. 1, 2, and we'll get this in. just like that. I'm keeping this cloth on me at the moment because I've opened a new glue, you see, so it's just easy to be spilling out at the moment. But there you go, that's that detailing. That was step 9. Step 10, we've got this little tiny thing we took off the sprue, which is just going to go on these points here. What I'm going to do is just put a little tiny touch of glue on each side of this. So we've got one there, just enough to hold it in, but not too much to, that's perfect. Not too much to actually get any glue anywhere else. So once this is in, just lining it up, push it down. Get any excess off. I can't believe I still get excess glue coming off here. There we go. That's perfect. That's that bit in just like that. That was step 10. Step 11 is just showing you what it looks like. And then basically, once we've done that, we're going to be bringing over this hatch again. Something I didn't do in the last one that I'm going to just continue now. That this top piece here just needs to be glued into this end. So I'm going to do that now. I did save that for this one. The reason I saved it is because I forgot about it. And B, I've got to do it again anyway on the other side. So once we get this side in, which is just like that, that's the last stage from the last one. That was actually done from pack 8. Obviously, we're on pack 9 now, so we don't want to be doing that. Okay, so next one we're going to be doing is putting this hatch that we've just built. I think all the details that we need are on there. It's just going to be going on to this section here. And if you remember, what we do is we put it in at an angle like this. Hold it down just like that, and then pull the ramp out, and then that enables that to sit in lovely and firm, and then we can just close the door just like that. And that's that bit done. Once we've done that, sure there's no gap, it's saying. That was step 14, as you can see there. No gap whatsoever. We're going to go to step 15, which means we're going to be securing this from underneath, just on these bits here, which means we need these really fiddly washer parts, which, if you watch my last video, went in really easy for me. And I am literally begging, we need the screws for these as well, that it does the same thing again, because I haven't got that lucky ever on these builds, ever. So what I did last time, let's see if this works. I loaded the screw up, I put a washer over the screw, because these washers are square, you see, so, square, hark at me, they're rectangles. So we put that in the hole. Get this in. God, that's going to be the hard bit. Just getting the screw in the hole. Right. When the washer is loaded up, just like that, I'm going to put it on the vehicle. Just like that. And hopefully... there we go. That's the first one in. Just going to give it a nice screw in. Nice and tight. There we go. I'm going to do the same with the second one. So, I'm just going to get my other screwdriver out. Load the screw up, put the washer on, so the washer goes all the way down. There we go, just like so. Then we're going to get this in, just like that. That's gone in good now. And then we tighten that one up as well. That's excellent. Feels good. Okay, and then that's that screw in as well, and that's that nice and secure on the end there. That was basically steps 15, 16 and 17. Last thing, just like we did at this end, we're going to put a drop of glue just on this end here, and then that is going to be going into the top of the hatchway door. I'll show you from that side there, just like this. Excellent. Then we're going to line all of these up so that it sits absolutely perfect to the way it should be sitting, just like that. There we go, just holding it in place, and there we go. That was basically steps 19 done. Now we've got to put some details on the front here. As you can see, we've got some little square bits just on the front. In those, we're going to have these little square bits here. They are directional, so once again, like that blue thing, you've got some little trowels running through the square in the middle. You want to make sure that they're vertical, and we're going to be putting them 1, 2, 3, 4 in. So what I'll do, I'm going to dab some glue just on all 4 of these. Excellent. And then we'll get these in, making sure they're in the right way. So that's number 1. When I put these all in, I will show you what we've done, so you can see that they definitely are all in the right way. 3. And last but not least, number 4. Just making sure they are straight. Oh, that one's a little bit, there we go. Perfect. So then it looks just like that. And that's those 4 in. That's the end of pot 4 done. And guess what? That is stage complete. So we're going to put this to one side. As you can see, I've got a whole heap of what's coming in this pack, and I put this in order. So the next one we're going to be doing is this pack here, which is basically the base of the vehicle. So we'll get this opened up, just like pod 3. We've got rollers on this. This can get a little bit fiddly, this one. But I'll tip everything out. We've got the rollers, the base, and some screws. So what we need to do is get me trusty scissors on this. Open these bits up here. There we go. Lots of goodies. Chuck me rubbish away. And oh, we've got a whole pile of screws as well that we're going to need to open as well. We'll get those open now, because you just know we're going to need all of them bar one. They normally give me one spare one, which is pretty cool. Okay, so what we're going to do first off, whoa, apart from lose everything, just put this to one side. And then we're going to be basically putting this unit here on over the top of this unit here, and it can only go in one way. So when you've got this in, it's going to fit in just like that. That was basically steps 1. Now we're going to be putting 4 screws in, 1, 2, 3, 4 into those holes there. So let's get cracking on that now. I'm going to put that one in first, I think. This will keep the base in place nice and quick. Here's the second one. Third one. Look how quick I'm getting those screws in. And the 4th one. And then step 3 is just showing you, make sure all 4 screws are in nice and tight and keeping this base together. Looking just like that. There we go. Excellent. Right, so that was step 3 done. Right, step 4, we're going to be putting in a little end on one of these little black tube things. So we've got an end here to put in. Once the end's in, we're going to be putting the other end in on the other side, just like that. Then we're going to be putting an axle all the way through both of them. So they come out like that. And obviously this is just going to make some rollers, you see. So, oh, didn't want to come out that side, but there we go. You've got some rollers here with the tubes coming out both sides. And then all we're going to do is just drop this in to the section there. So it's going to look just like that when it's dropped in. And we're going to repeat that. This is basically going to take us all the way up to step 13. So once again, one in one end, one in the other end. Put the axle all the way through it. When it comes out the other side, just drop it in here just like that. And there we go. We've got the 2 rollers in here now. Looking just like that. How cool is that? Because the next stage, we're going to be offering this whole end here up to this vehicle here. And we're going to be screwing it all in by all of those lovely holes that we've got in there. Look at all of them. So let's drop this down. Nice and gently, because I don't want those things falling out. Making sure the rollers are in place, which they are. And then the first thing we're going to be doing is starting to put screws in. The first screws that it wants me to put in are the very centre screw, right down the middle there. So probably best on the top camera, but that very middle screw there is the first screw I'm going to be putting in. And that's gone in absolutely lovely. And that's the first screw in. Making sure that it is all level all the way around. That's perfect. Okay, second screw it wants me to put in is the one behind it. This is step 18. It is hard to get your screwdriver down here, I have to say. But it's in. Let's go and tighten that one up. Let's turn this around a bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm having to tighten it up at a little angle there. Once that's in, we're going to be putting the 2 end ones in. And this is step 19. So the one by this hatch here. These ones are going in easier. I'm just lifting up the base as I'm screwing it in, because obviously I want this to be really level. Just like that. So just give it a little bit of a tighten. Excellent. And then one at the other end as well, which means I'm going to swish it round. And that way you'll be able to see that a little bit better on one of these cameras. probably best on the top one actually, if I just leave that flat and you can see it on the top. There we go, and that's that screw in. And then once we've done that, we're going to be doing the 3 around the sides on each side. So let's do this now. God, it's held in with a few screws, isn't it? So that's one in. I'm going to put one in the other end here. Trying to do this really quickly because it's much the same old when you're putting screws in, isn't it? And number 3. Oops, there we go. Nice and tight. That's the right hand side done. Let's do the left hand side. Again, I'm just doing the 2 ends first, then doing the middle one afterwards. This will take us all the way up to step 21. Excellent. 2 more screws. And as you can see, they've left me with 1 screw. I always get that spare, which is very nice of them. Thank you, Modelspace. Always good to have a spare. There we go. I'm going to put the spare to one side because that now is that completed up to stage 21, looking just like that. Pretty cool. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we'll turn the page because we're going to be opening another pack. I'm going to put that to one side just for a second. And we're going to open this pack here. Okay, so in this pack here, it looks like we're going to be starting some of the details on the pod here. And we're also going to be doing the start of Domo, which means we're going to be taking all these sprues off again. And because this is exactly the same as what we've done for the past, God, how many episodes have we been on now? God, this is hard to open. The past 8 episodes, because this is number 9. Oh, that was hard to open, that was. I'll tip everything out. I'm just going to whiz on with the put in the tracks and stuff like that, and we'll cut back to that. So for now, anything to do with Domo, I'm going to just put to one side. So all of them on one side over here, because all of the rest of the bits here, just having a look, are going to be some of the details that we're putting actually on this unit here. So the first detail it wants me to put on is this round little bit here. Just that bit there, and that's going to be going on this hole here, just by the at the end of the gold lines, just like that. Now this is going to be. It says fit the plug cover to this screw hole, so we're putting the plug cover in. It doesn't say it needs gluing, and to be honest with that, it's held in, so I'm going to leave that in for now. If it does need gluing, then obviously I'll glue that part in later. But that's that bit in now. It probably won't need gluing because the next part is going to be fitting on top of it. So. The next part is just this gold bit here. This is going to be steps 2. I'm going to put some glue on the pins here. 1, 2. And then that's just going to be following the trend of this gold line. I'll get this in and then show you what that looks like. Just like that. There we go. And make sure they're all lined up. That's looking perfect. So that was step 2 done. Step 3, we've got this little, we've got 2 of these sections and they're exactly the same. So it doesn't matter which one we use. But these are going to be going in either one of these holes just here, facing this way. Whoops, facing this way, like that. So we'll get some dobs of glue on there and get that in. Just going to put the glues actually in the hole sections here, and that should hold that perfectly. And once we get these in, that's the first one in, and that's the second one in. So that looks just like that. That's steps 3 and 4. Step 5, we've got some of these white sections to put in. The first white section is the one that looks like that with the gold end on it. This is going to be going, as you can see, you've got 2 little pinholes here. It's going to be going on those 2 pinholes just there. So I'll dab some glue onto this bit here. 1, 2. Excellent, and we'll get this in. Probably better on the top camera just as I line this up. There we go. It's going to open that hatch up a bit to give us some light in there. But there we go, that's that bit on. And then the last bit is basically the thing that looks like a flux capacitor or something, just like that. Sorry, I missed a fusion. from a DeLorean, and this is it's got a hole there which basically looks like a key. It's going to match the hole. It looks like a key just in there next to that white thing, and it can only go in one way. So what we'll do is we'll put some glue just around the edges here on this. Excellent. And I'll put this in and show you what it looks like. That fits in quite snug there, to be honest with you. There we go, and that's what that looks like. Now with step 6 done, there's no more details to put on that, so we can, once again, put that to one side and leave that over there, because now we're going to be building Domo. So what I'll do is I'm going to be breaking these points off here like I did last time. Once we've done that, I'm going to be securing them together, putting an axle on, and then we're going to be putting these through this unit here. Now what I'll do is I'll come back once I've got the wheels ready to go on, because as I said, we've done this plenty of times before, so if you'd like to see me doing that, just check one of my other videos out.
A few moments later.
Okay, welcome back. So as you can see, I've done all the wheels and put the first stages of the axle on. What we're going to be doing now in step 5, we're going to be starting putting this on the chassis of the vehicle, which looks like this. Just so you know, this end is the front and the end with the detail and stuff is the rear. So the tracks will go on the back. The sprocket joint, someone could tell me what these are called and I've completely forgotten. They'll be going on the back just like that. Through the hole on that side, then we just secure the other wheel in. Push them together. So that looks like that. And then we just continue doing this for all the rest of them, because all the rest of these are just normal round sort of track wheels. So nice and quick and easy this thing is. Once you've done the first one, it takes hours. By the time you get to pack 9, you're whizzing through it. So that's the last one in. Now what I tend to do, once I've got the last one in, I just hold them down and I just give them a good push to make sure they're all level. And once you've got like that, and they're all in, you're going to be putting the tracks on, and the tracks just go on nice and loose so that the teeth are on the outside of these edges, just like that, you can see, and I'll just walk that around. And we do the same to the other side. That's another track on, just like that. So that looks like that. And then obviously if I put this down, as you can see, I love playing with that. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to be putting another detail on. We're going to be putting the front detail on here. The front basically goes on the this area here where you've got a little slot down there. And this is going to be mirrored on that side there. So this is actually going to be secured just like this on there, so that you need to make sure obviously that the yellow sections are actually pointing down as well. Probably the best place to put glue for this, looking at that, is just actually on this unit here. So if I dab some glue just on this side and this side, that should be enough to hold this perfectly in place. So let's put this in, just hold it for a second, and there we go. That's going to look just like that. That's the front of the vehicle, and that was steps 12 and 13. So we're going to put that to one side, because now we're working on this stage here, and we're going to be working on this side of the vehicle with the holes here, because we're going to be putting this detail, which is this one here, into this section, just like, put it in so you can see how it's going to go, just like that. That's how it's going to go, but that's going to need some glue, I'm leaving, because that's not going to stay in, as you can see. It's held in by these little 2 bars here, so if we put some glue just in these holes, that should be enough to keep that held in. So once again, making sure it's around the right way, you want to make sure that those 3 bits there are against the edge of the vehicle here. So we'll get that in. So that looks just like that on that side, and like that from the front. Once that's in, we're going to be putting some little details on the front, which are little tiny details which are on this sprue here. So we'll get these off, and I'm going to see, as a matter of fact, I'm going to take these off with my trusty clippers so I don't get any burrs. There's the first one. The second one was hanging off anyway. I'm just looking at these to see if they are detailed. Basically, if you look at these, I'm going to show one in the camera. You've got some little lines in it. The lines are going to point towards each other, as you can see in this picture in step 17 here. So you just need to make sure that they're put in those ways. So what we'll do is we'll get those in now. These definitely need gluing in, they're very loose, so I'm just going to dab some glue on each side, just like that, and we'll get the first one in. Try to do this with my hand rather than the, that's the first one in. Yeah, I'm trying to do this with my hand rather than the tweezers, because I'm all fingers anyway if I if I'm perfectly honest. Right, I'm just going to get my little cloth, because I've got a bit of excess glue on there. Don't want that excess glue on there. I'll show you what this looks like once that's off. And there we go. That looks just like that. Lovely. Okay, so once that's done, that's all the details that we need to put on. That's just an empty sprue there, so I can chuck that in the bin. We're going to be putting this together with this. And the way this is going to be going is, obviously, this is the front of the vehicle. So it's going to be going on the end that doesn't have that on. So this is all going to be pieced together just like that. So what we'll do is we'll get some glue just on these sections here. Put them on the pins, actually. And then we secure these bits together. So the way it goes is basically, as I said, turn it around so you can see. So that end there is going to be matching up to this end here. There we go, and that's in. So basically that's the back of the vehicle, making sure that's perfectly straight, which it is. And that's the front of the vehicle, just like that. And that's held in. So that is the start of Domo. Looks pretty cool. So we'll put that to one side because we're on to the next stage now. Basically, we're going to be doing a bit more of the detail inside the pod here. So let's bring that over. Move my tweezers over. And this is the pack that we're going to be using. As you can see in this pack, probably on the top camera, you've got some pieces for Domo in. I'm just going to take out the bits that I know we're going to be using for the actual laboratory section in pod 4. So let's get this open, which once again is always the hard part. So the bits we're going to need are all these grey bits. 1, 2, 3, 4. The little laboratory there. This detail here. This little pack of goodies here. What else? I think that's it. I think everything else, just looking. Oh no, these bits here. Let's get me tweezers to get these out. 1, 2 of them. I think that's it. If I need anything else, oh no, the cylinders as well. So we don't need them, but we do need that little batch of goodies there, I think. But I'll put that to one side. Anything else we need, we'll get together afterwards. First stage is going to be doing, we're going to be putting these two little, let's put these to one side. These two little sections here together, it's like a little tower, and they've got a little pin that joins them between them. So when they go together, they're going to look just like that. And I haven't glued that because that is really, really, really tight. It's never going to come apart. I think you probably break it first if you get that apart. Once we've done that, again, we've got a laboratory here, and we're going to be putting a little detail just in this hole just there. And the detail is actually part of this little pack here, and it's the little red part with the yellow end on it. And the yellow end is going to be pointing up, and this is definitely going to be a tweeze. I think I'm going to have to use my tweezer. So let's get this open, which is the hardest bit of the whole thing. Probably going to need my tweezers to help me open it, actually. Okay, so there I've loaded the bit up that we're going to be putting in. I'm going to dab a glue just on the end here, and then we'll get this into the vehicle the right way round. Obviously the yellow's going to be facing up, but the way I'm gluing this in, I'm putting it in sort of upside down. So once that's in, give it a push. That should stay in just like that. Nice easy part there. Right, what we're going to be doing, step 3, we're going to be putting this other section on now, which is the top area of it. You've got 4 pins at the back here. They're going to correspond with the 4 pins just on there. So when this goes on, it's going to look just like, let's get this lined up, just like that. To be honest with you, it's going to need just a touch of glue, not too much, because that went in quite tight. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just on these pin areas here, and then we'll get this pushed in. Does take some force, that one, I have to say, because you don't want no gaps. So that's going to look just like that on the top there. Making sure just one more side needs a bit more pressure there. There we go. That's better. Right, once that's in, that was step 3 done. We're going to be putting in the bit that we made before, which is this bit here. This is going to be going in just these 2 holes here. And the way around it goes is with that little rectangular sort of squarey bit. It's going to be facing, let's have a look at this. It's probably best to match up the top. The side bit is going to be facing outward. So when this goes in, it's going to look just like that. And again, I'm not gluing that in because that's gone in really tight and it's going to be hard to get out. As you can see, there's no way that's coming out. So that looks just like that. That was steps 4 done. Now step 5, we're going to be putting the back area of this on. The back area looks like, just looking at all my bits that I've got here, the lab backers are actually these ones that got square fronts on them. And you've got 2 of those. You've got one there and one there. And they look exactly the same, to be honest with you. So the first lab backer is going to be going on this section just on this side here. So let's just line this up so you can see how this goes. This is going to go just like that. And that's the first lab backer. So to get this in, we're going to be, I'm just checking the best way to put this in, is probably to put some glue just around the edges here and here to keep that in. So I'm going to put some glue just around this side here. And just along the top there. That should be enough to keep that in, and this will be the first one going in. And then once it's in, what you want to do is make sure that the edge, as you can see, oops, it's moved. You want the edge to be completely flush. Now you have got a little detail on that end there, as you can see, and you will have a little seam, but as long as it's flush all the way around, that's going to be absolutely fine. I'm just holding that with my finger at the moment. Okay, so the next part, step 7, these ones are called backer Bs, the squares, and backer As have got this sort of design on them. So the backer A, which is the next one we're going to be putting in, will be going in this side here. And the way this goes in, it's going to fit in exactly the same thing, just on the other side there. It's going to have a little gap down the middle, as you can see there. So we'll get this one glued in exactly the same way. Put some glue just on these edges here. Just like that. And then when I put it in, the most important thing is just to line the edges up. So I'm just going to have a look at that myself so I can see. Oh, and then we're going to need to just get some excess glue off of there. There we go. And that's going to look just like that. So from the back, that's how that looks. I don't remember doing that in the first one, I have to say. So it's interesting that we have had to do that. Just pushing that down a bit more. But there we go. That's the little laboratory section done. And that was step 8 done. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using tweezers, because we're putting this to one side, because we'll be fitting some plugs. I'm going to open the doors now, because the plugs are in this little pack here, which is probably going to be a nightmare to get open again. Oh, no, there they go. And I'm guessing all of these bits are going to have a place in here. We're going to be putting the plugs in, and these plugs, these circular plugs, go in these 4 positions here. So you've got 1, 2, and then we've got the 2 ends, 3 and 4. So let's get these plugs in now. Now these have got to be put in with glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dab some glue just in these holes that they're going to be going in, just so I've got enough in here to keep them in. And then obviously once these things are glued, we're never going to be able to open them again. So bear that in mind without making things really hard. Okay, so we'll put these 4 in. Oops. It says put them in with tweezers, now you can see why. But if you open the doors up, it shouldn't be a problem. That's the first one in. Put the second one in through this door. That's the second one in. And then these 2, hey, don't want to be losing that. These 2 just on this side here. So this is the first one. 3. And the last one. 4. And that's the 4 little holes in. As you can see, they block them up absolutely lovely. Once we've done that, we're going to be putting the little lab that we made in, and that basically goes into these 3 holes that you can see on this side here. So I'm going to drop some glue just in those holes there. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. And then we'll put this in through the door, and then I'll sort of negotiate it with my fingers to the correct positions that these go in. And then push that down. And while I'm pushing that down, I'm just going to hold it for a little while and show you what this looks like in a second. There we go. That's what that's going to look like. That's the little lab down. That was step 11 and 12. And basically it's just showing you on this one what it looks like from the rear. So from the back, it's going to look just like that. As you can see, you've got the little frame of the vehicle here going into that little section, whole section that you made in the unit, just like that. But that is the lab section in, and that looks just like that. Probably just needs a little push down on this side. I might have to give it a little bit of glue on that side. Nope, but that's in absolutely perfectly. I'm just holding it down just to glue it, but that was steps 12 and 13 done. So that's completed. So what we can do now is move that to one side. I'm going to put this pack over because now everything that's left we can tip out and put over here, because all of the rest of these parts, the continuation of Domo. We've got these 2 extra bits here as well. Hasn't told me to use them yet, so we'll have to see what they where they go later. So we'll bring Domo back across now, because the next stage we're going to be putting in is we're going to be working from the top section here, and we're going to be putting a little section in that looks just like that. This is just the lights. Oops, which I'm dropping. Probably best to pick it up with me tweezers so I could just show you what this looks like. At the back, you've got just a redness, and you've got the lights which are going to be facing forward. So when we put these in, if this is the vehicle here, you want to make sure that the lights are facing in the same direction as the cockpit there, which will be this way round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue in here, and these are going in the back ones of these holes. That one there, this is going in. So I'll drop a bit of glue in there. Not a lot. Once again, if anyone is interested in what glue I'm using, I get this from the range, and it's a vacuum sealed glue, which means that, there we go, that's just the lights in there, which means that I don't have to keep putting the lid on, you see. I can just keep it out and it sucks it back into the tube, so that's why I use that glue. So that's that one in. Right, now we've got a speaker to go in, which is a really tiny bit, which is in this little pack here, which I'm going to try and open without losing them, because these are really tiny. Look at them. Okay, the speaker's going to be going into the front. So what I'll do is I'm going to dab some glue on it now. Not a lot, just a bit to, so I know that this is going to be on. That's perfect. This is the bit we're putting on. Look at this little speaker bit here. That is tiny. Tiny. But make sure it's directional, because it goes on the right way. It's going to be facing forward. So I'll put this in now. And once it's in, I'll show you what it looks like. There we go. And that's in. That looks just like that there. Excellent. That was step. That was the speaker. That was step 2. Step 3. We've got a little siren to put in, which is basically. Go on, let's show you this. This tiny one here, and that's going to be going in the hole just behind it. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to hold it from the top. I think I'm going to dab a bit of glue in there on the pin this time. Just like that. And then we'll get this siren in. Try and hold it from the top. Okay, and let's get this siren in. Once it's started, it's easy to push in, but there we go. That's the little siren on as well. Look at the detail in that. That's amazing. Okay, once we've got the siren in, step 4, just showing you what it looks like. Step 5, we're going to be putting these little ear bits in, which are on here. So we grab these off of here, just like that. And these are going to be slotting in just on these sections on the side here and here. And the way they go in is basically they're going to follow the line of the vehicle. So they're going to, funny enough, I just picked up the right one to go in the right vehicle there. It's going to look just like that when they're in. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these, just so we can get these in. And obviously when you put these in, there is no detail on either side. So I don't suppose it matters as long as they're following the direction of the vehicle. So this is the first one. Will I use I'm going to use my tweezers. These are a lot easier to put in with your tweezers, you see. So get the first one in. And push it in. So it looks just like that. Dab of glue on the second one again. So I'll hold it I'm so not left-handed, that's why I glue it, then put it on the tweezers. And then I'll put this in the other side here. And push it in with my thumb. There we go. And that was steps 6 and 7 done. Right, the next part we got, which is step 9, is this little other silver bit here, which looks like a grill. It says the rear grill, actually. And that's basically going to be going into this part of the vehicle here, just on that bit right there. And the way it goes is so that the point of the grill is pointing down. So if I put a little dab of glue on this, then you can see what I'm doing. Little dab of glue there. I'll pick this up with my tweezers, and this is going to be going in just like this with a point down. Just like that. Push it in. So that rear grille is going to look just like that. Pretty cool. Okay, then we've got these little lifter sections here. This is a little bit exactly like when we built the excavator. Was it the yeah, I think it was the excavator. Now I'm just seeing if these are exactly the same, these two pieces. So once they're in, it's not going to make a difference. But they're going into these sections just here and here. That's the little black sections here, and this is going to be steps 10, 11, and 12 is just showing you what it looks like. So what I'll do is I'll pick these up with my tweezers. Just having a look at these, they are exactly the same. So once they're in, they're going to mirror each other. That's the first one in. Put the second one in. And that's the second one in. So those two little black areas are looking like that. That was step 12 done. Step 13, we've got these two little red parts here, which I'm going to need to take off the sprues. So I'll bend that one down and give it a twist. That's the first one off. And we do the same with the second one. Now these have got detail on them. One side of it, that's now clear, so I can chuck that away. One section's got a little bit of detail on. The other side is completely blank. So as you can see, that side's blank. That side there has got a little bit of detail on. It's the detail side that obviously faces out. So the way these go are going into the side of the vehicle here, and they're going to be like little steps for someone to sit on. They're going to be going in just like, if I put this one in first, just like this, in there like that. Okay, and we do the same with the other side. These do get glued in, just so you know. It's going to dop a bit of glue on this as well. There we go. And we put this in the other side. There we go. And that's both the steps in. Pretty hard to see on the camera now, but they're just there. The other one's just the other side. Looking like that. The side, so that's both the steps in. That was steps 13 and 14 and 15 done. Step 16, we've got the black detail here, which is going on the rear of the vehicle, which is this side here, just underneath there. This is directional, and the way this goes is basically with that little thing there facing up. So it's going to go in just like that. So we'll put a bit of glue in there, because that's not going to be held. Right, hold that in, and the last detail is just the drum bit here. You've got a little bit of a fill hole here, and the fill hole is going to be going to the this side of the vehicle, just so you know. So basically we're going to be putting it in that way. I'm going to put some glue in here first, because I've got a funny feeling when that's in, that's not coming out again. I like making these support vehicles. It's pretty fun, to be honest with you. Okay, this is a hard, tough one to get in. Just so you know. There we go. It's in. God, that took some pushing to get that in, just so you know. But that's the little, what is it, a fuel tank, is it? That bit there? Just says the rear tank, so that's in. And the last but not least, we're going to be putting this bit here, which is the cockpit, onto the front of the vehicle. And the way around it goes, so the cockpit is facing, or the cockpit area here is going to be facing that silver area there. So when this is on, you know it's in the right way, because it's going to go in just like that. So that's what it looks like when it's all together. Really cool, huh? That's that stage complete. How cool is that? So that was all the way up to stage 19. We're on now, sorry, the step 19. We're now on stage 57, which means we need to bring this back across here. And now we're going to be working on some of the details just inside the pod area here. So let's get this open now. Lots and lots of bits. Hopefully these can go in really quickly. I think there's some bits for Domo here as well, so we'll see what we've got, especially these bits here and here. I'm just trying to separate all the bits that I know are going to be for Domo. Those definitely, that definitely. God. We'll see where we go to. Okay, first thing we're going to be doing, we've got this lovely track section here, which is going to be going to the other side of just the gold section here. This can only go in one way. You've got the 4 holes that this goes into there. We're going to be putting this in just like that. Doesn't matter how this goes in, because this is perfectly symmetrical, I believe. It looks symmetrical, so once that's in, I am going to put some glue in there. It's going to fit perfectly in there. Let's get some glue in. Oh, actually, no, we're not going to need glue. That goes in really tight. Wow. You don't realise how tight that goes in. That's that bit here. That's steps 1 and 2. It does say to glue these things, but if I don't think they're needed, I'm not going to waste glue when it's definitely not going to be needed. Okay, once that's done, the next part we got in is this little bit here, which looks a bit like a petrol station. And that's going to be going into the far side of the vehicle, which is the side just over the other side here. and it's going to go into these holes. You've got two sets of holes. It's going to go into the right hand side, this set of holes here. So let's put that in. This is going to be mirrored when we do the other section. There should be two of these actually. Yep, there is two of these because one's going to be going on the other side as well. So a bit of dab of glue on the end here, and we'll get this into these holes here. They are directional because the holes are spaced different in each one. So make sure you put them in the right one. So I'm putting in the one this side first, and then this one's going to the just on that section there. There we go. So that looks just like that. So I've actually put in just stages 4. I'm going to go back and do stage 3 because the pins are spaced out slightly different on each one. But they are mirrored to each other. So in other words, they're facing each other from across the actual pod. So we'll put this one in as well. There we go. And as you can see, they're facing each other across the pod there. So that's that detailing. Right, next one, step 5, the first detail. These are the ones that look a little bit like flowers. These are exactly the same, but again, these are going to be mirrored on either side. So what we'll do, they're going to go into these holes just there. So we'll dab a glue in here, and you need to make sure that you put them in the right way. So basically, the flower section is facing inside the pod. So we'll put that one in. This is number 1. Now when you put these in, it will break if you give it too much pressure. So what I'm going to do is get my tweezers and I'm going to push it down in between with my tweezers, just like that. I'm not going to put any pressure on the actual flower stalk things, because if I do, you're going to have a bad time. Because I can see them breaking really easy. So again, just 2 little dobs. These are going to be facing in. Line them up to the holes. Just like that. And again, pushing it down with my tweezers just like that. And there we go, that's those 2 flower sections in. It does tell you not to push them down in the instructions, so that's good news. Okay, we've got another detail, which is just this little white section here. Looks just like that. Little, what do they call these things? Just calls it a detail. This is going to be going on this hole. It's going to cover this hole just over on this side here. And the way around it goes is basically, just checking, you've got a little sort of keyhole again on this section here, which is going to follow the screw hole here. So once this is in, I'm just going to get it in and I'll show you what this looks like. It's going to go in just like that. Let's get some glue on there. Like that. And we'll put this bit in. Oh. You know you got it in right because it will sit perfectly flat, which at the moment it's not doing. It is now. There we go, and that's that detailing just like that. That was step 8. Now step 9, we've got another one of these little like catches things. Now this can only go in one place because, as you can see, you've got the gold little rods or tracks going through here, but it's being interrupted by the screw hole. And obviously this one here has got the one that exactly fits it. So make sure this fits in the right way as well, because it's slightly off centre. As you can see, it's slightly off centre. So the way around this one goes in, put this in, we drop it in the right way so that it continues that lovely line that we've got in there just like that. So that's that stage 10. That's that stage complete. So all the other bits that we got here, just going to put that over here again for Domo so we can bring them over. So first thing, it says 1 aerial base. Now the aerial bases are going to be in this little pack here. Little tiny pack. So we get this open. Just like that. Oh God, these bits are so tiny. Right, make sure there's nothing in there. And the aerial bases just look like these 2. Let's get me tweezers on this because they are tiny. They look just like that. See that? There we go. These 2 aerial bases are going to be going into the sections just on the cockpit area here, here and here. So we'll get a little dab of glue just on the top of these, I think. Doesn't need a lot at all. There we go. And we get these 2 bits put in. Now, famous last words, but I don't know if you've noticed, I haven't lost any bits yet. And any bits that I've lost in previous packs, I found again afterwards, which was a feat in itself. But there we go. Okay, so there we go. They're the 2 aerial bases in, just like that. The next stage is the exhaust cylinder. The exhaust cylinder looks just like this thing here. Again, I'm going to pick this up just so you can see it. This is going to be upside down to you at the moment. But this is going to be going into the section just in between the vehicle there. And the way it goes in is, oops, let's turn it around that way round. So it's going to go in just like that. So let's put a bit of glue in here. Load my tweezers up. And we'll get this pushed in. Excellent. So once that's in, you've got the little red part looking up as well, just like that. But that's the front end there. Right, once we've done that, we've got the next stage, which is stage 15. We're going to be breaking open these little pipe work here. Now, the best way to get these off is going to be with my little trimmers, because they're so delicate, I don't want to break it. So we'll get the first one off. Looks like that when you have to cut it off. And we do the second one. You've got a little pin, because that pin's going to obviously be going into something, I guess. There we go, we can chop that little bit away, don't need that. Okay, so with pipe work, you've got some little flaps here on this section here. Now the flaps are actually going to be facing the vehicle just like that. So when they're in, all of this is going to be able to slip into place just like that. And that's what it's going to look like when it's all in the holes and exactly where it needs to go. Just like that. I will glue this later, but that's been held in pretty sternly there. So that's what that looks like. We'll put the other one in just so you can see what I did there again. So it goes in, it's best to put the flat end in first, just like that. Then the bottom end here, which is the bit that's really giving it its rigidity. I can't even say it. Rigidity. Oh, English. How I have problems with the... Okay, and that's the 2 pipes just at the front like that. They need to be glued in as well, but for now I'll just keep them like that. Okay, once you've got both of the pipes in, up to step 9, it's just showing what it looks like. We can just put that to one side, because the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be building some of these suction pads. We're going to add some little axles to the suction pads. I'm just looking around which way they want us to do it as well. These suction pads are exactly the same, just so you know. It doesn't matter which one we use, as long as we put the right axle in. So it's going to be going in this way round with the... hole at the bottom, and then we're going to pick up this. It's going to be going into that little hole just like this there, but that's going to be glued in. So let's dab some glue on this, just like that. And again, not that side, it's going in this side here. Excellent, just like that. That's the first axle in. We've got to make sure it's perfectly straight, it's saying in the next step, step 11. As you can see, that is perfectly straight. And we're going to be repeating that for all the suckers. So once you've got those 3 done, it shows in picture 12. There we go, that's what they're going to look like. Now these are going to be threaded onto this massive unit that we've got here. The way these are going to go on is basically they're going to be having the axles in the air, and these are just going to be slipping on the ends just like that. And these are going to be glued in. So we're going to glue one of them in. And then we'll, it's probably best to apply glue just to this section actually. So I'll put the first one in, just like that. And this is step 13. And we're going to repeat that all the way down the line. So we'll put this one in first. Making sure it fits absolutely perfectly in there. You'll hear it click, so you'll know it's in for right, but that's the first one in. We're going to do the same with the others. So let's just load these up with a little bit of glue. Excellent. Right. Here's the second one. Now, obviously, the most important thing of this is to make sure that all of your little sucker things are straight, because it won't look very good if they're not straight. So I'm going to line these up now to make sure that they are all perfectly straight. Having a look at that. They're straight on that side there. Perhaps that middle one just a little bit there. I'm just really getting fussy at this, so I just want to make sure they're all perfectly straight, which they are, and that's going to look just like that. That's that bit completed there. Let's just turn it around so you can have a look. There we go, and that was step 15. Step 16, we're going to be bringing across the vehicle again, because we're going to be putting these little, what are they called these? We're going to be putting these actuators. And the actuators are going to be fitting back on the vehicle. So they're exactly the same, but they're going to fit in these holes. And I'll tell you what, I'm not gluing them because they go in really tough again. So they go in the vehicle just like this for 2 of them. And this is step 17 done. You need to make sure they're perfectly straight. So it's a good job I haven't glued them, because one was slightly off there. There we go. Looking just like that. There we go. That's the little actuators in. And then once we've done that, we're going to be putting this whole section here. God, how's this going to go? And it goes basically, whoops, it's going to be going into these holes here, just like this, onto the actuators, so it's all on just like that. It says, check the actuators are holding the crossbar comfortably without bending. Yep, definitely holding it, and it's not bending, and all of the things are in line. That's excellent. And the width is purely in place. The width looks absolutely brilliant on that, as you can see on that side there. And then the last thing we're going to be doing is just putting these aerials in. And then guess what? I think that means Domo is complete. Am I right? Just looking at all the other bits of the pack. Yeah, that would be Domo complete. Another support vehicle. Excellent. So these just go in the little aerial bases that we put here, which are hard to get in. I am going to probably just put some glue in this again. So what we'll do is we'll put some glue on my little pot here. And then we'll put that in like that. And then we'll drop these in. That's the first one in. Here's the second one. There's the second one in. Make sure that the aerials are straight, which they are. And that, my friends, is Domo completed. What do you think of that? Let's get a picture of that. Let's get loads of pictures of that. And there's a scale picture as well. That's a nice little support vehicle, isn't it? Excellent. Absolutely brilliant vehicle. Okay, we need to get cracking on again. So we'll put this to one side, because the next thing is we're going to be building the walkways. Walkways were quite easy to build last time, but I put them in the wrong way round in the pod last time, so we're not going to make sure we make that mistake again. We'll just get out all the bits, and I think it's probably best if we just whiz through this, because I remember what to do. Basically, these are labelled. Okay, you've got one which says an L, or it's got a number on it. It says R1, R2, L1, and L2. This one here says what is this one here? Let's try and find the little. This one says L. So we need the corresponding bracket which says L, which is this one here. So this is the exact one that's going to be going on the edge there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some glue just on the pins here, and we'll get this secured in. There you go. If you think that bit was easy, God, you're going to be in for a tough time. That was quite hard to put that in there. But that's the left walkway in. Let's do the same to the right one. Just going to hold that up. And what I'll do this time is I'm just going to dab some glue just on the edges here. I think it's going to be easier on my fingers if I do it this way. 5, 6, 7. There's actually 8 pinholes that this can go in. And once that's in, again, we line this up and we'll get this pushed in. Oh, that went a lot easier than the left one did, that's for sure. Okay, so that's the left walkway in. We want to make sure that they are straight and all the pins are in. Just checking both of these myself, but there we go. That's the left and the right one in, like that. And then we've got one to put in the middle. So what we do is we're going to do exactly the same for this one here. Just a bit of glue along the edge. Nice and quick section this is, I have to say. But again, if you watch my video of was it pack 3 I did this? God, this was a pain in the neck. But it is nice that we have done these bits before, so we can we have got an idea of what we're doing. So once they're in, obviously you've got a gap in these two. Oh, that one's not in properly. Let's see. Make sure that gets in all the way. That's better. As you can see, you've got a gap in these two sections here, just on the edge there. And this bit's going to be fitting in the middle. Probably best on the top camera here. And so what we're going to do is just dab some glue just on these edges here. So we've got this bit in. No problems at all. And the same on this side. Excellent. And then we'll get this side in first. Making sure that they go in the holes. There we go. Come on, you. There we go. It is directional. You want to make sure that you put this around the right way so that all the little barriers, what they call them, all the little railings will face the same way, just like that. You see? So that's how the walkway is going to be looking. Once that's done, that's all the way up to step... oh, God, let's have a look. All the way up to step 15. All the way up to step 15 is going to look just like that. So now we're going to be taking these bits off the sprue, because this is the bit that's going to be hanging it off the pod. Just like this. And then the way they want this done is we need to start putting these into the top of the pod here. So let's bring the pod over, and I'll show you what way round they go. Okay, the first one we've got are the longer ones. The longer ones are going to go onto the foremost frames with the 2 pins. So the longer ones are going to be going onto these frames here. And the way they go, basically you've got these little 2 holes. Let's show you here. Can you see that just on this camera here? This close-up camera. They're going to mirror exactly when we push them in. So when I put this one in, they're going to look just like that. Lovely. We're going to repeat that again with the other one. Now, obviously, they are different sizes as you go down. So I'm just making sure I'm putting the right sizes in first, which I am. And we put the next one in the other side. Give it a good push. There we go. So that's that 2 in. Now, the next ones go in this bracket here, which is the... let's have a look. It's the 3rd one in. So we'll put the first one in. These are a little bit fiddly. There we go. And then the second one. I think what I'll do is I'll just put all these in as they go. I'll show you the picture on the screen. And then you'll see exactly as this is supposed to look right at the end here. There we go. And that's basically all of those bits glued in. Looking just like that. And it's ready to accept the walkway. Now, what I didn't do last time was basically this section, the cross section, goes towards the narrow end of the vehicle when we were offering this up. So basically, I had it round that way last time, or I had it round that way, which I was forced to turn it round because it should be going in that way. So I want to thank again one of my viewers, Terry, for that, who noticed that, because this is the way it's going to go in. So what I'm going to do, you've got some little holes in just the walkway there, as you can see, one there, there, and there. We're going to glue these into the top section so the walkway's suspended in this pod. Okay, so I cut away just for a second there because that was really fiddly. So have a look on the side camera, just see how that looks. That's the actual thing in now. As you can see, it's on the right way around to the narrow end, and that was really fiddly, but that's looking pretty cool. And that is, if I just shut these up, pod 4. Now, what we're going to be doing now, this is the last stage of Pack 9 at the moment. I'm just going to put this to one side. We're just going to be doing one of the sidewalls for that. And there's not many parts to put in, so let's open this up now. And this is sort of like the final run. Now, obviously, in Pack 10, we're going to be finishing these sidewalls off. And I'm guessing the pod will be finished as well. But, oh, look, there's bits here that need to be... God, I hate that red bit. If any of you see my past... videos, that red bit is the bane of my life. Let's hope I don't have a problem like that. I think what we're going to do first, I'm going to lay these out and I'm just going to take all of these things off the sprue, ready to go.
A few moments later.
Okay, so as you can see, that's everything off the sprues. We're all ready to go. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting in this round detail here, which looks like a little, I don't know, a switch with a red thing on the back. This is basically going to be going in just this section just here. So I'll put this in, and just like I normally do, once I put every detail in, I'll show you what it looks like on the side camera here. So we'll put this one in first. There we go. And that looks just like that. Second detail we're going to be putting in is one of these white squares. They look exactly the same. We're going to be putting in one each side. So this is going to be sections 4 and 5. So just going to put a little dab of glue in these little square sections where they're going. Probably best actually to use my tweezers for this one. I think this is going to be a little bit fiddly because obviously you want them straight. So that's one on. Let's just put the other one on, which is over here. How these things get over to different sides of my man cave is beyond me. But I'm just going to push this down. I'm just going to make sure these are perfectly lined up. Not happy with that one at the moment. Oh, I'm fussy. I'm very fussy. There we go. And that's the 2 square bits in. That's me being really, really fussy. Wanted to make sure they're absolutely perfectly straight. So that's those 2 bits in. Now we've got the little blue section, which is going to go underneath, just on these little points here. Let's get them in. And this is just a case of pushing down. They can only go in one way, those ones. So that's the little blue section in there. It's going to turn the page. Because now we've got this red bit. Now this is the bane of my life. Once again, I'll show you the picture because this is directional, and it's going to be going on a certain way. So once we've got this in, which I'm going to do now, we'll see how this looks. But this was the bit that I lost in the last video, and it took me an absolute age to find it. But that's pretty much how it's going to look on there. So I'm going to put some glue on here, and let's see if we can do this and redeem myself from last time. Now I know which way around it goes. Oh, have I redeemed? I've redeemed myself. Look at that. I've finally got it on first time. We're not losing that bit. Okay, right. What we're going to be... We've got these little grey bits now. These are going to be going just underneath that. Just there and there. So I'm going to dab some glue onto these bits here. And these are steps... let's have a look. This is steps 11 and 12. 11 just showing you what the pieces look like, and 12 just showing you how they go in. So let's put them in now. Oh, have I put this in the right way? Yeah, I put this in the right way. Cool. So let's put number... I don't know what these detailed numbers are, to be honest with you. So, but that's the first one in. And we put the second one in now as well. And then I'll show you what that looks like. That's the second detail, looking like that. Really cool. That takes us up to step 15. Now step 16, we're going to be putting lights all the way along these bits here. So we'll put some glue in there. This will be the... Because it's done on both sides of the walls, the lights. This will be the first, second, third time that I've done this. So I use my tweezers for these. I'll put one on and show you how they're going to look. There we go. Push it down with my finger. They're going to look like that all the way along. So I'll put them all in so you can see what they're going to look like. Number 2. So that was pack 9. This is going to be, because after I've done this and just put the Thunderbird thing on, that's pretty much done. Oh, let's make sure that's in there nice and straight. What do you think of pack 9? We've only got like 10, 11 and 12. 3 more packs to go. Obviously we're finishing up building this pod now. We're going to have some more support vehicles. I know one of the ones that I mentioned in the introduction video was Alan Tracy's car. I don't know which one that's going to come in, but it's coming. So looking forward to that one. And I think it'd be nice to have a montage again at the end of the build, just to show everything that we've done. Bearing in mind, in the last montage I've done, which I was really impressed with, I missed one of the vehicles out because I'm an idiot. Okay, there we go. And that's all the lights in. Just looks like that. There you go. And then the last but not least, we've got this Thunderbird 2 Pod 4, which is going to be going on the inside of the frame. So we need to put this to one side for a second. We need to bring this back over. And the way this goes on is it's going to be going on this side, which has got the white little bit in the corner. Oops, show you that over here. And it's going to be going on the edge. Oh, God, let's try and figure this out. No, I'm lying to you. It's going to be going on this side here. Just this side. And the way this is going to go on, you've got some pins just in this unit here where it can clip hold of, and they're going to basically be going on just like, show you on the side camera, kind of like that. But I'll get some glue on the pins here, and then we'll get that on. I think it's probably best to actually secure this with tweezers, which is what I'm going to do. Let's see if we can do this with tweezers. So I'm just going to dab some glue on that. Obviously, the most important thing is you don't want to be putting this sign on upside down. So we'll get this in. Let's just find the pins again. I'm going to put it in. That's one pin in. Oops. That was one pin in. That's... Oh, God, it keeps slipping out. Come on. It is fiddly, but there we go. That is that bit in. I'm going to hold it in with my fingers now just to give it a bit of pressure. There we go. And that's what that looks like. Thunderbird 2 Pod 4. And I think that's a really nice place to end it. Pack 9 is complete. We've only got 3 more packs. Now, the good news is I've got packs 11 and packs 12 just down there. And they're ready to build. I'm awaiting pack 10. It should be here any day now. So this build is frozen until I get pack 10 through, and then I'll be whizzing through them. But I really do hope you like that build video. I'm going to try and edit this down in post-production. So if you're watching it now, I've already edited it down because it was a little bit long. I know you've said a lot of this before. If you do like what you're seeing here, though, and you'd like to subscribe this for yourself, as I said, you've got a web address there. Go type that into your web browser and subscribe. You've got a 12 or 24 month option. And if you use that discount code, you get 5% off each pack. But anyway, hope you like that video. Looking really good, isn't it? And I love the detail. And that vehicle, wow. The old Domo, very good. Take care.